All right, so let's get started by sitting on the mat, finding a comfortable spot. Close your eyes, resting your hands. Noticing where your shoulders are at. On your next exhale, just letting them fall back. Noticing where your breath's at. As we inhale, sitting a bit taller, straightening out your back. And exhale, dropping your shoulders even more. Releasing any tension in your face. And with each breath, we're really slowing it down. Noticing our surroundings and then coming back inwards. Together, we're going to be doing a little bit of breath work. We're going to be inhaling for 5 and then exhaling for 5, all through the nose. We're doing this 5 times. So let's go slowly together. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last round, inhale. And exhale. Coming back to your natural breath. Seeing where you're at, seeing if your breaths have naturally gotten a bit deeper. Taking one hand on your chest and then one hand on top of that hand. So both hands on your chest. Feeling your chest rise and fall. Feeling the present moment. What mood are we in today? Asking yourself this question, seeing where you're at. Without any judgment, noticing it and storing it away for later. Completely dedicating yourself to this practice, to the sensations, to the feelings you have. Releasing your hands to your knees. And your next inhale, we're sitting super tall. Exhale, we're going to take our right ear to our right shoulder and start going in circles, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder. Taking it super slow in one direction, feeling it out, eyes closed. And gently switching directions. Slowly coming back up to center. From here, we're going to keep our eyes closed for a moment. Inhale your hands to the sky. Looking up at your fingertips, looking up at the clouds, or the non-existence of clouds, actually. Making space in between your shoulders and your ears. Noticing where you're at, noticing the color. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Opening your eyes. From here, taking your hands to the front of the mat. and meeting me in a tabletop position, actually. Hi. Perfect. From here, noticing tabletop, noticing your hands on the ground, your knees in the mat. We're going to tuck our back toes coming into a high plank. Gently, we're going to take our right knee into our chest, squeezing our core, and then we're taking that right knee to our right wrist, starting in a pigeon's pose. Untuck those back toes, fingertips to the ground. Inhale, shining your chest forward. Push the ground away. Exhale, starting super slow today, coming into a pigeon's pose, forehead to mat. Checking your hips here aren't falling to the right side, that our hips are squared. Letting yourself really absorb into the mat. Perfect. Relaxing into this pose. Just going to check your hips, guys. So we want to feel it a little bit. Perfect. Good job. Just bring it, shift it a little bit more. Perfect. And while we're here at the beginning of our practice, setting an intention for how you want to feel, where you want to be at, or what you want to get rid of, or what you want to bring into your life. Taking 3 more deep breaths here. Gently coming back up, fingertips to the ground. Inhale, shining your chest forward. Push the ground away, looking up. Exhale, we're tucking those back toes, coming in back into a high plank. Inhale, left knee to our chest, crunching at the core. Bringing that left knee to our left wrist, coming down on the other side. Untuck those back toes, fingertips to the ground, push the ground away. Inhale. Exhale, we come down. Noticing this side, how does it feel in comparison? Checking in with this stillness, how are we feeling? Holding it here for 3. For 2. And on 1, bringing your fingertips back to the ground. Inhale, pushing the ground away, chest forward. Exhale, we're tucking those back toes, meeting me back in a high plank. Checking your hands are directly under your shoulders here in high plank. We're going to drop our knees. Again, checking they're also under your hips, as wide as your hips as well. From here, we're extending that left leg, lifting it so it's parallel to the ground. Toes are pointed, the left leg's super active. Check your core. From here, looking at one point on the ground for balance and extending opposite arm. Getting pulled in both directions, super long. Holding it here for 3. Neck is straight to the ground as well for 2. And on 1, taking that right hand behind us, bending that left leg. Can we grab the inside of that foot? We're kicking back with that foot while lifting our chest, holding it for 3. For 2. And on 1, extend that back leg, right hand to the ground. We're going to pivot this right knee, so that our right foot comes to the outside of the right side of the mat. Perfect. Right hand under that right shoulder. Inhale, lifting the left hand to the sky. So your hips are squared to the ground. Are stacked to the ground. Left leg is extended. Looking up at those fingertips for 3. Breathing for 2. And on 1, we take this left foot to the back. Can we try and grab the outside of that left foot? Again, we're kicking back as we shine our chest forward. Holding it here for 3. For 2. And on 1, we come back to our position, looking up, And from here, we're going to be extending the left hand to the front of the mat, lowering so this left leg is kind of hovering to the ground. Taking one breath here. Inhale, bring both arm and leg up. Exhale down for 5, 4, 3, 2, feeling this in your right glute, and on 1, holding. Taking one more deep breath. And gently, left hand to the ground, coming back into a tabletop position. Noticing that right glute. Maybe we need to do some spinal waves here, feeling it out, shifting your hips from side to side. And let's get ready to do the other side. From here, extending that right leg. Lifting it, active right leg, toes are pointed. Find your focal point and extend left arm. Check your core. Holding it here for 3, super long. For 2. And on 1, take that left hand behind you. Can we grab the inside of that right foot? Kick back, shine forward for 3. For 2. And on 1, take a left hand underneath that left shoulder. Pivot that back left foot so the left toes are on the outside of the left side of the mat. Right hand to the sky. Stacking your hips here, looking up at those right fingertips, holding that for 3. For 2. And on 1, we bend that right knee, trying to grab the outside of that right foot, kicking back, shining your chest forward for 3, kicking back even more. For 2, noticing the ground with that left hand. And on 1, we come back to the position before. We reach that right hand up and over our head to the front of the mat, lowering that right leg so it's just about hovering off the ground. Inhale. Exhale. And on our next breath, coming up for 5. Down. For 4, breathing. 3. 2. And 1, we hold. Taking one more deep breath. And gently meeting me back in a tabletop position. Well done. In tabletop here, we're going to walk our hands about a hand's distance more wide forward. Opening your hands, fingertips super wide, claiming that space. On your next inhale, we're going to come forward on those knees, drop our hips, shine our chest forward, shoulders back. Looking up. Exhale. Push the ground away as you round our back, bringing our hips down to our heels, child's pose. Walk those fingertips forward. Holding your breath. And inhale. Round that spine as you come forward again on our knees, shining your chest forward. And then we hold. Exhale, reverse. So we inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And hold. Inhale. Coming forward. Finding your own rhythm, finding your own movement. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Doing 3 more rounds on your own. Really following your breath today in this practice. Let it guide you through the movements. And when you're finished, meeting me back in a tabletop position. We're going to come up onto our back toes, bringing ourselves to a little seat on our heels, and taking the backs of our hands to the ground, applying a really gentle pressure on our wrists, just to prepare us for all the down dogs that we're going to be doing, for all the planks. Feeling it out. How does that feel? Maybe we'll do the opposite way as well. So fingertips towards you. Whatever works for you. If this is too much, then we'll come back to palms down. Perfect. All right. From here, hands back underneath our shoulders. We're tucking our toes, meeting me back in a high plank. Swaying on those toes. Forward and back. Strong core, in control. And on your next inhale, coming forward, lifting our back to the sky, rounding our back, dropping your head. Exhale, down dog. Pedaling out the feet here, pushing the ground away with your hands. Hips to the sky. Feeling it out. It's the first down dog of today. So Andrea, I'd walk your hands a little bit closer to your feet, and I would open your feet a little bit more. Perfect. And bending your knees, and push the ground away. Perfect. Lifting the hips. Bend the knees a bit more. Lift the hips. Pushing it away. Excellent. Yeah, that looks really good. Holding it for 3. Just a little bit wider your feet. Good job. For 2. Looks good. Excellent. And on 1, we're going to bend the knees. Looking forward, hopping or stepping to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Opening your feet as wide as your mat here. Left hand to the ground, right hand to the sky. Inhale. Looking up at those fingertips, opening your body to the right side for 3. For 2. And on 1, switch it up. Right hand to the ground. Inhale, left hand to the sky. Noticing how maybe you're more tense on one side. Can we open that left shoulder a little bit more for 3? For 2. And on 1, gently coming down. Feet back underneath our hips. So bring them a bit closer. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Taking your hands to the side. Inhale, coming up to a standing. Looking up at your fingertips. Exhale, release. Perfect. Shaking it off, guys. And coming back to the front of the mat. Inhale, hands to the sky. Reaching to the sky. Maybe we reach a little bit more behind us. Exhale, hands to prayer, coming down at the hips, bending a bit, Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to the mat. We're taking the left leg back. Left hand to the side, beside that right foot. Right hand to the sky. Looking up at those right fingertips. Reaching. 1 more breath here. Dropping that back knee, taking this right hand behind us, grabbing the outside of that left foot, looking over that right shoulder. So many lefts and rights. Can we bring that left foot, even closer towards us? Maybe bending that right arm, feeling it in the front of that left thigh. We're holding it here for 3. For 2. And on 1, gently release that back foot, taking your right hand to the front of the mat, bringing your hips to the back of the mat. Straightening out this right leg so you can really sway back and forth, see how we're feeling. Flexing these toes towards us, fingertips to the ground. Keeping your back here straight if we can. So if we're really not able to come down low, but we keep a straight back, that's what really matters. Toes are flexing towards you. Shining your chest forward, and then with time, we will come down. This is really in preparation for splits or for any hamstring exercises here. Checking that our hip is on top of our knee exactly. So I would even step, Andrea, this foot a little bit more forward so that our hip is on top of our knee. Perfect. Good job. Flexing those toes towards you so you really feel it. Holding it for another 3. For 2. And on 1, we bring this right foot back down to the ground. we're gonna walk this right foot even more forward. So you really feel it in the front of that left thigh. Inhale, if we're ready, hands to the sky. Checking again that your knee is on top of that ankle. If it's not, readjust yourself, shine your chest forward. Reaching back, really feeling it in the front of your left thigh. Holding it for 3. For 2. And on 1, hands down to the ground, tucking the back toes, meeting me back into a high plank. Perfect. From here, drop your knees if you're not ready. Otherwise, elbows in, we're lowering down to a low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Push the ground away. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, looking forward or hopping or stepping to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the side as we come up to a standing, looking up at your fingertips. Exhale, release. Shake it off. Let's go for the other side. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, folding at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. From here, hands to the ground. We're taking the right leg back. Right hand to the ground, left hand to the sky. Looking up at those left fingertips, reaching for 3. For 2. And on 1, we drop that right knee, untuck the toes, take the left hand behind to grab those toes. Maybe we walk that left foot a little bit more forward, feeling it out here, looking over that left shoulder. How much do we want to push ourselves? Where's our comfort zone? Holding it for 3. For 2. And on 1, gently release, taking the left hand back down to the ground, and we're taking our hips to the back. Straightening out this front leg, left toes are flexed towards you, flat back, including your neck. So we're not gonna let our neck completely drop here. We're keeping it in line with our spine. Maybe we walk that ankle forward a bit more if our knee and our hip are not stacked here. Holding it. Let's see how we're doing. Looks good. Perfect. Flex, flex, flex for 3. Perfect. Let's square those hips a little bit more. Perfect. For 2. And on 1, bring that left foot back down. From here, we're gonna get a super good stretch on this right thigh. So really walk this foot forward a little bit more. Inhale, hands to the sky. Shining your chest forward, reaching up, maybe even reaching a little bit behind us for 3. For 2. And on 1, hands come down to the ground. Tuck those back toes, meeting me in a high plank. Drop the knees if you'd like to, otherwise we lower down, control the elbows, rubbing into your ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg or left knee, come to the sky. Feeling this out, how does it feel to be in a 3-legged down dog? Opening that left hip. Inhale, we're taking this left foot in between our hands. Squaring that foot with your hands, finding your control. We're on the back right toes. You can drop your knee if you'd like to come up to a low lunge, or we can lift the knee and come up to a modified lunge, sorry. Hips are forward, shining your chest, reaching to the sky for 3. For 2. And on 1, pivoting that back foot to at a 45-degree angle, hands parallel to the ground, looking over those left fingertips. Bringing this knee so it's on top of the ankle, holding it here. Perfect, for 3. Perfect. For 2. Strong, strong arms. So we're looking over the left fingertips. Well done. And on 1, we're reaching forward with that left hand, flipping it upside down, and then we're taking it back to the back of the mat, opening up that left side. Right hand goes down that right leg. Holding it there in reverse. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And on our exhale, we come back up into a warrior 2. Windmilling your hands down to the ground, meeting me in a high plank. High plank, coming down to your forearms, forearm plank. Checking your core here, checking that your hips aren't sinking. Our body's in line, our hands are open, we're really controlling the mat. We're gonna bring our hips from side to side, as always, for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping your hips down to the ground. Hands are underneath our shoulders. Push the ground away. Elbows in. Exhale, coming down. Tuck our toes. We're going to push the ground away to come back into a high plank. Realign your hands if they're not underneath your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, hips back, down dog. On your next inhale, taking that right leg to the sky or the right knee. Holding it here. How are we feeling? Checking in with ourselves. Exhale, we carry this right leg in between our hands, squaring that foot. Again, drop that back knee if you'd like to. Otherwise, we come up. Holding it here with control. Check your knee. Check your hips for 3. Push your chest forward, reaching high. For 2. And on 1, pivot that back foot, 45-degree angle. Check your heels are in line. Bend to the knee, arms parallel to the ground. Looking over those right fingertips for 3. For 2. And on 1, flip that right hand upside down, lean forward as we come back into a reverse. Opening that right side of the body for 3. For 2. And on 1, gently coming back into a warrior 2. And windmilling your hands down to the ground, high plank. With control here in high plank, we come down to a forearm plank. We're gonna pivot our toes so they're facing the left side of the mat. Inhale, left hand to the sky into a side forearm plank. Looking up at those left fingertips. We're gonna be dipping our hips down to the ground, just a quick tap and back up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, I know 2, and 1. Come back to the center. Oof. Normally we do core at the end, but we're doing it at the beginning today. Inhale here in forearm plank. Exhale, we switch sides. Toes to the right side of the mat. We're on the left forearm, right hand to the sky. We're going down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center, guys. Drop those hips. Oof. Hands under our shoulders. Push the ground away. Inhale, looking up, shining up. Exhale, coming down. Taking our hands behind us, interlacing your fingers. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Inhale, coming up. Squeezing them even higher. Exhale, release. Perfect. Hands under our shoulders. Tuck your toes, pushing back up to high plank. Readjust yourself. Inhale here. Exhale, down dog. Checking your down dog. Where are we? How's it doing? Are our heels getting a bit closer? Does our back feel a bit straighter? Maybe we're swaying the hips. From here, we're gonna bend our knees, look forward, hopping or stepping to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the sky. Looking up at your fingertips. Exhale, release. Shake it off. Perfect. All right, so coming to the front of our mats, we're gonna keep our hips square to the front and take that left leg back. Super important to really align your heels. The back foot is at a 45-degree angle. You can readjust it later on, but check your heels. From here, we're really gonna ensure that we're stacking or squaring our hips to the front, even when we do come down. Take your hands either into prayer or grab opposite elbows. From here, we're gonna inhale, shining our chest forward, looking up. Exhale, we start to come down. So shifting your gaze down to the ground with a straight neck still. Check those hips. So we really want to come down straight with the back. So we're not rounding our back. Perfect. So if we only come down halfway, that's totally fine. We're holding it here for 3. Check your hips. For 2. And on 1, we do release our hands. We're staying down. Bend that front knee. Come back on those back toes. So our hands are in front of the foot. And from here, we're going to kick up into airplane, but we're not actually focusing on the act of airplane here. What we want to work on here is squaring our hips. So with both hips being shined down to the ground. Inhale. And then on our exhale, we're going to practice stacking our hips. These are terms you're going to hear all the time in yoga. So stacking one hip on top of the other. This is what we would do in half moon pose. Inhale, coming back to squared hips to the ground. Exhale, stacked. So feeling that slight change. It's a really small sensation, but still burns. Squared. Inhale. Exhale, stacked. One more time. Inhale, squared. Exhale, stacked. Perfect. Dropping this left leg right beside your right leg. Opening your feet as wide as the mat. Grabbing opposite elbows, letting yourself hang heavy here. Feeling the weight in your feet. Noticing the right leg, how it feels in comparison to the left. Gently release your hands. Take your feet under your hips again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, taking your hands to the side. We come up to a standing, looking up at your fingertips. Exhale, release. Perfect. Let's do the other side here. Taking the right leg back. Very good. Check your stance. Check your heels are in line. Check your 45-degree angle and your hips. Take your hands behind you, however you did it on the other side. Inhale, shining your chest forward. Exhale, coming down. Super slow movements with lots of intention behind them. Straight back, squared hips. Holding it here for 3. For 2. And on 1, we release our hands down to the ground, bend the left knee, come up on those back right toes. We're kicking up into airplane just to practice the squared and stacked sensation. So right now we're inhaling in squared hips, airplane hips. Exhale, we stack. So this would be half moon. We're not going to bring the hand up into the sky, but we're just practicing the hips. Inhale, squared. 4 more times. Exhale, stacked. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times, guys. We got this. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Release the right leg next to your left leg. Open your feet as wide as your mat here. Again, we're grabbing opposite elbows, hanging heavy. Coming back to your breath, back to your body. Gently releasing your hands, taking your feet under your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Taking your hands to the side. Inhale, coming up to standing. Exhale, release. Perfect. So while we're here in lots of bent folding overs, we're going to really start working on this right leg. So rooting this right foot into the ground. Left leg is lifted in front of us. We're going to bring this left knee into our chest. Finding your focal point on the ground for balance. Noticing how all right toes are really activated right now. Shoulders back, chest forward. We're going to release our hands, taking our hands to the side. Extending this left leg, as much forward as we can. Holding it here for 3. Activating that leg for 2. And on 1, taking your hands forward, left leg comes back. So again, we're coming into airplane. Practicing here your squared hips, guys. Reaching for 3. For 2. And on 1, coming back. Arms to the side, left leg in front. As much forward, even if we're here, guys, if it's activated, that's what matters. Holding it for 3. For 2. And on 1 more time behind us. Reaching, super slow movement for 3. Looking down at the ground for 2. Feel free to bring your hands to the ground for 1. Hands to the side. Left leg extended, and then we're bending it, bringing the knee back into our chest, hugging it out. From here, extending the right arm to the right side. Find your balance, find your focal point. If this is enough for you, hold it here. Otherwise, we open this knee to the side. Taking your left hand to our knee, or if you want to take it further, your peace fingers come around that big toe. And slowly, with concentration, we're going to start to open it if we want to. Wherever we're at, listening to your body for 3. For 2. And on 1, hug the knee back into your chest. And we're releasing, shaking off that right leg. Whew. I see your shirt. I'm just here for the Shavasana. I didn't notice it. We'll be there soon. All right, rooting the left leg into the ground. Right leg is forward. Noticing those left toes. Inhale your hands to the side. Lifting this right leg. Activating the toes, activating the thigh for 3. Reaching chest forward for 2. And on 1, bend the knee, bringing it behind us. Airplane, arms in front of us. Reaching forward as we kick back. Looking down for 3. For 2. And on 1, gently coming back. Hands to the side. Right leg forward. Holding it for 3. Look forward for 2. And on 1, going back. Last time, guys. Reaching super slow concentration for 3. For 2. And on 1, coming back up. Taking your hands to the side, leg is extended, bend the knee, hands in front of your knee, squeezing it in. Stay here if you'd like to. Left hand to the side. If we want to go a little bit further, opening this right leg to the right side. And if you fancy it, peace fingers around the big toe. Finding your limits, finding where we're comfortable at, and if we want to stay there, listening to yourself. Wherever we're at, we're holding it for 3. For 2. And on 1, bring this knee back into your chest, give it 1 last squeeze, and release, shaking off that left leg. We're good. All right, guys. Coming to the front of our mat. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to the ground. We're coming into a high plank. Drop your knees if you'd like to. Otherwise, lower down to a low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, looking forward, and we're gonna hop our steps to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Here, instead of coming up, we're gonna open our feet as wide as the mat, bending our knees, coming into a yogic squat. So you're going to take your hands to prayer, pushing your knees out to the side. Perfect. Closing your eyes here, taking a little pause throughout our practice to see how we're feeling, to reconnect with our breath if we happen to lose it. Come back to our intention. Come back to the present moment. Finding stillness, noticing the breeze. And from here, we're going to come into a seated position, bringing your feet in front of you. Release your hands behind you. Right hand behind you, fingertips pointing to the back. We're going to inhale, pushing the ground away. Left hand comes to the back. Reaching with your left hand. Exhale, release, hips down to the ground. Change it up. Left hand behind us, fingertips facing the back. Inhale. Right hand comes up behind us. Push the ground away with that right hand. And release. Coming back into a seated position, lifting your legs. We're coming into boat pose. Extending your arms to the side. We're going to be doing 3 reps for core. You can bring your hands down to the ground as well if you'd prefer for a little bit more balance. From here, extending the left and then the right. We're doing this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming into butterfly pose, letting yourself round your back, drop your head, close your eyes. We've got 2 more reps of that. We'll be changing it up just a little bit. Inhale, coming back up. Your hands are behind you, or we're having our hands out extended in front of us. From here, we're going to extend our body so we're almost completely hovering off the ground, and then come back up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Butterfly. That one feels a bit longer. Sorry, guys. Taking one breath here. And gently coming back up into boat, your own variation. Wait, and from here we're gonna hover our feet so they're hovering off the ground, and we're crisscrossing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Butterfly. Rounding the back, letting yourself really dissolve into this. Dropping the head, closing the eyes. How are we feeling? Closing your eyes, letting yourself round into this pose just a little bit more. And gently coming up. Coming back into a boat pose here. And we're going to come down onto our backs, counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing your hips, so your heels towards your hips, so you can tickle your heels with your fingertips. Checking your knees here. We're not letting our knees fall out to the side. Imagine you have a block in between your knees. As we inhale, we bring our hips to the sky. Tuck under those shoulder blades, interlace those fingers. Squeezing the block in between your knees. Maybe we come up onto our toes. Your chin touching your chest almost for 3. For 2. And on 1, bringing your hips down, knees into your chest. Rocking from side to side. And bringing yourself back down, we're going to come back up into a bridge. So aligning yourself, aligning your heels. Inhale, bringing those hips up. Tuck under those shoulder blades. Interlace those fingers. On your next inhale, we lift the right knee or the right foot to the sky. We're coming down for hip dips for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the right leg, left knee or left foot to the sky. Hip dips for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that knee. Inhale, hips to the sky. Exhale, hips down to the ground, grabbing the outsides of your feet. Happy baby pose. Letting your hips fall from side to side, rocking from side to side. And gently coming back to the bridge position. If we're ready to come into wheel, aligning your hands behind your shoulders or beside your ears, really ensuring your elbows don't fall out to the side. If we're not ready for wheel, we come back into bridge. Inhale, preparing yourself, pushing the ground away. Check your elbows, check your knees. Push, 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 chest forward for 3, for 2, for 1. Gently coming down, knees into your chest, hug it out. Rocking from side to side. Massaging that lower back. Gently releasing your feet down to the ground again. We're going to be coming to a shoulder stand if we're ready for that. If we're not ready for shoulder stand, we're going to practice hands flat on the mat and we're kicking up our hips. So to have that sensation of having our hips lifted. However, if we have a bit of experience with candle pose or we want to give it a try, when we kick up, we're going to grab our hips and walk our hands down to our mid back. Tuck your shoulder blades under before we lift our legs completely. Elbows in line, right? We're not falling out to the side. Stacking your legs on top of your hips. Holding it here, looking at your feet in the sky. Finding some stillness in this pose for 3, for 2, and on 1, we gently take our legs behind us. If we're ready for it, otherwise we can do whatever we'd like. If we want to come down or stay in candle. Interlacing your hands behind you, letting your arms fall to the ground. Listening to your body here. Holding it wherever we're at for 3, for 2, and on 1, gently take your lower back again. Bring your legs to the sky, stacked over your hips. Opening your eyes if they were closed. Bend at the knees, walk your hands down your hips, gently bringing your hips down to the mat and hugging your knees into your chest. Rocking from side to side. From here, left leg comes down to the ground, right knee's in our chest. We're going to bring the right foot to the sky, either grabbing behind the thigh or the shin or even behind the foot. What we want to truly try and ensure here is that our shoulders stay as low as possible to the ground, which is really difficult, but the intention is there. Elbows out to the sides. Holding it here. Close your eyes, guys, for 5. Active right leg. For 4. Breathing for 3. For 2. And on 1, we take our hand to either the side of the shin, the side of the thigh, or the side of the foot, and we're opening it up to the right side. Take your left hand here to the left hip to try and make sure that the left hip isn't lifting too much here. We want to come down with control. Noticing this in inner right thigh. You might feel the stretch. Holding it here for 3. For 2. And on 1, gently bend this right knee, and then we bring it into our chest. Right knee, squeeze into our chest. Left hand to right knee. We're carrying it up and over our body to the left side. Right knee touching the left side of the ground. Right hand extended to the right side, looking at those right fingertips. I'm gonna come around and do a few modifications. Just breathing into your pose here and breathing into your twist. Perfect. Letting me know how you feel here, yeah? If it's too much, you can say stop. Closing your eyes, inhale. Perfect, you've got it. Exhale. Well done. All right, letting me know how you feel, okay? Inhale. Are we doing good? You good? All right, finding your balance there. All right, Andrea, letting me know how you feel. Inhale. Exhale. Great. All right, Marion. Inhale. Deepening in this pose. Looking to the side, right? Perfect. All right, on your next inhale, guys, bringing this right knee into your chest, squeezing it out. Exhale, releasing it down to the ground. Left knee comes into our chest. Hugging it out. And we're lifting the left foot to the sky, finding your placements wherever it may be, behind the thigh, the shin, or the foot. Elbows out to the side. Check your shoulders that they're not too lifted. We're holding it here for 5. Active left leg for 4. For 3. For 2. And on 1, we take our placement to the side of that left leg and we open it up. Take your right hand there to your right hip, ensuring the right hip doesn't lift too much. Holding it here, eyes closed for 3. For 2. And on 1, bend that left knee, bring it towards your chest, hugging it out. And with our right hand to this left knee, we're taking it up and over our body to the right side. Left hand to the left side, looking towards those left fingertips. I'm gonna come around again and do some modifications. Letting yourself really sink in with each inhale and with each exhale. Perfect. All right. Inhale, we're gonna deepen this. That's good. Exhale. Good job. Looks great. Inhale. Just gentle pressure. Exhale. Closing your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. All right, Marianne. Inhale. Let's extend this arm out to the side. Perfect. You're reaching that way. Inhale, twist. Exhale. Deepening it. Good job. All right. Inhale, trying to bring that shoulder down a little bit more. Looking towards those fingertips. Exhale, also focusing on the knee. Inhale, really going to lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Looks great. All right, let's hold there. On your next inhale, we're bringing this knee back into our chest. Exhale, we release. Coming into Shavasana. So finding your comfortable spot here. Readjust your shoulder blades. Making space for your neck. Opening your feet as wide as your mat. Your hands open to the sides. Palms to the sky. Claiming space. No tension in the face. We're going to be here for the next 2 minutes, guys. So finding that stillness, dissolving into your mat.
Don't forget the grains of sand that hold their secret state, exactly why they are here. Without the words they don't need or have. They see it clear without eyes to steer themselves in the rubble. No sense of nerves, but a vibrant consciousness that happens back here. To the point of making the end.
All right, so to wake us up from Shavasana, on our next inhale, we're going to squeeze our feet. Squeezing both feet, the toes, just the feet. Inhale. Exhale, we're releasing the feet, any tension in our feet. Starting to wake up our body up. Inhale, squeezing the legs and the feet, tensing it up. A little bit more of an inhale. Exhale, releasing them. Let's do this to our glutes, our hips, our legs, our feet. Inhale. Squeezing them. Exhale, release. Starting with our fingers, our hands, and of course our hips, our legs, our feet. Inhale. Exhale, release. Arms added this time. Inhale. Exhale, release. Including our stomach now. Inhale. Exhale. And our chest. Exhale. And our whole body. Inhale, tense. Exhale, release. Slowly starting to open your eyes, looking up at the sky. And when you're ready, with closing your eyes again, we're coming onto our right side. And slowly shifting yourself back up to a seated position. Finding your knees onto your hands onto your knees. Finding a comfortable supported seated position here. Shoulders down and back. And we're gonna finish with the 4, 7, 8 breath work. So we're gonna be inhaling for 4, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8. We'll be doing this 4 times. So settling your breath first. And together, let's inhale for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Last round, guys. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Coming back to your natural breath. Bringing your hands to prayer posture in front of you. Coming back to your intention. Coming back to how you were feeling at the beginning of practice. Reflecting where you were at and acknowledging where you're at now. Acknowledging the sounds around you. Coming back to your breath. Thank you guys for coming to today's practice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.